Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Frsky X20 Tandem transmitter. It comes in this carry case here, and it's also come wrapped in this anti-static material. We've got some extra corners here if you want to use them as sort of like an extra grip. I'll just take it out of the bag. But the first thing that I want to do is sort out the nonsense rumours that are out there, which are that it's got the DJI HD digital FPV system built into it, which is completely false and not true. In fact, this particular one is the standard edition. It's also the only one that you can buy at the making of this video, and it doesn't have any HD capabilities. If I take off this clip here, which is covering a bunch of stuff, what we have got is a blank HDMI out socket and another blank there as well. So, what is the truth about this HD system that is going to be coming on the HD version, which you can't currently buy? I've spoken to Frsky, and they say that it is going to be their own low latency 720p HD system, and they can't confirm that it will work with any other third party, and that is all of the information that is out there at the moment. So it could be possible that Frsky has come up with their own HD FPV system, or they are using the same open source system as Fat Shark. But as I say, when I said will their HD system be compatible with SharkBite, they said that they could not confirm that. That radio is set to come out in June, so any hype around this guy having HD FPV in it is just absolute nonsense, and you can completely ignore it for the time being. There is a radio in the middle, which is called the S version, and I don't believe that one is out yet either. The difference between the S and the HD is that the S won't have the HD system in it, but it will have the same Hall Sense gimbals. These are Hall Sense gimbals. They are just a sort of lower quality one, if you will. And quite honestly, I think the quad flying FPV community have probably got all the information that they need for now regarding this, but I will take it further and go through some of the features of this guy. One of the main changes is that they are not using OpenTX, and OpenTX is not going to be supported by it, which is going to mean that a lot of people are out anyways. In fact, I'm not even sure this radio is for the FPV quadcopter community at all, really, because it's quite a heavy price at the making of this video. For this standard version, it's 240 GBP. And something that worries me about not having OpenTX on there is that OpenTX could control what protocols we put on there, but now Frsky has complete control over what protocols we can use. So while there is a module on the back of it here, and it's one of the light modules, it'd be interesting to see what will actually work on the back of there. Things started to get really confusing for me with Frsky's receiver. First of all, we had the access receivers, which were a new protocol, but now we have got these new Archer receivers here, and those are different as well. I believe the Archer ones are just really their latest versions. Look at all this stuff on this receiver. So this is the R10 Pro here, and it says access, then it's got Archer up here and over the air, and all of those things, as far as I can see, they sort of all mean the same thing, so that's why it's confusing. From our perspective, you know, we use the X series receivers, so the D16 receivers, the D8, which isn't available on this anymore unless you use an external module and see if that is possible. I guess the XJT module at least should be compatible with this guy, if any of the multi-protocol ones aren't. So from a compatibility standpoint, if you have got an ACCST D16 receiver that is V1, then you can upgrade it to V2 and it will work with this, but it's not backwards compatible. Same with the RXSR and all of the X series receivers. See, that's confusing as well, isn't it? So we've got ACCST, which is the original protocol for the D16 V1s. Then we have got the Access protocol, so that was the new protocol, and it seems to be these Archer receivers that do all of the latest and greatest, so over the air and all of this redundancy. This one has got a separate power supply as a redundancy as well. Things have gotten really confusing. Then of course the Tandem part of this is the fact that it can run the R9 system and the 2.4 system with the same radio. So you've got external antennas here, but there's also internal ones as well, so you don't have to use these. In fact, this package hasn't come with any external antennas. These are just covers here for the SMA adapters if you want to use it. Now when it comes to 900 megahertz or 868, everybody is switching to Express LRS, and I don't think you're going to be able to do that with this because, as I say, Frsky has full control over this system, so you would have to use their R9 receiver system and transmission system with it. Whether it does crossfire, I'm going to very much doubt it. I don't even think the Crossfire module fits on there, but I do have one of these light modules. It's a UR-UAV multi-module one, so I'll have to see if that fits on there. I think they are trying to compete with Jetty and undercut them. Frsky has always existed to try and undercut the competition while being similar to it. And Jetty provide a transmitter very similar to this. It's more expensive and it's used for expensive line-of-sight aircraft such as jets and things like that. So as I say, maybe those kind of customers will be more interested in this guy than FPV. You guys are going to have to let me know in the comments. Holding it straight away, it is really comfortable, but I can notice that the sticks are really far apart. As a thumber, it just doesn't quite feel right. I'm sure it's something that I could get used to. Maybe as a pincher, that is an easier thing. I don't know. All of the switches are in the same place as a Taranis, so they are 3-position all here, and I've been saying this about Frsky for so long. Give us more 2-position switches, but we've only got this one 2-position switch here, and then this is a momentary switch for a trainer. Then we've got a 6-position switch down here, done slightly differently. Usually they're like in a row on the Radio Master, but that is for your Ardu Pilot, I guess. And this is an 800 by 480 color touchscreen, but you can also use this rotary dial and buttons, and we've got buttons on here as well if you don't want to use the touchscreen. Then there are some potentiometers here with a nice click in the middle for both of them, and the sliders, rather than being underneath, you slide them from the top. There is a nice indent in the middle, and as I say, you're given these grips which clips on underneath, and it gets rid of that sharp angle if you want a sort of more square transmitter. Yeah, it doesn't really feel any better for me. It just feels really wide here. I think I actually prefer it without these, but you know, they have given you the option for it. The battery on the back, it is a LiPo actually. Quite a big one. It fits nicely. I quite like to see that actually. So it's 4,000 milliamp hour 2S, and it's got built-in charging as well. So let me just put this on here. There is a USB connector up the top. Can just about see the micro SD card, which is blank here. So Frsky has sent this to me as an early release. I do hope that they send it with a micro SD card, because then you're going to have to do all the firmware stuff for yourself. We've got S port on here, and we've also got like headphones and a trainer port there. There's also 2 buttons on the back. See, I've got number 22 here by the looks of it, and this is the EU LBT version. The trims are, well, where you would expect them. It's just these that aren't where you would expect them, so you'd have to reach down. I suppose, yeah, that works with your thumbs, but you know, it depends what you are used to working with, because I'm used to moving the trims down here. There's not a lot left in this package. We have got a Frsky lanyard here, and that's about it, I think. There are some of these switch covers, actually those are quite nice. That's why they are rounded off, I guess, so you have to put those on yourself. And then there is just a bunch of stickers, no instructions in the bag, or no card to say where the instructions are. I would have liked some instructions, especially for such a complicated radio. We've got another slider here in the middle as well. It's got like a detent in the middle there. So if I turn this guy on, just get no SD card. So I'm going to have to source an SD card and update it with all of the firmware and see what I can actually achieve with this guy. So I'm just on Frsky's website here to download the SD card contents and also the firmware. Just see here it's confirming, so ACCST D16 only compatible with V2, that's confirmed there. 2.4 access mode compatible with access receivers, and then over here as well compatible with simultaneous working under access mode. So confusing, isn't it? And they've done that for the 900M as well, so it's the long range access R9, and it's good that it does 868 because it means I can use it in the UK. Everywhere was just suggesting 900 megahertz, so I can use that. Then look at this here as well. Dual band mode compatible with dual band receivers, so they are receivers that do both. Why would you need that though? I'm trying to think, why would you need a receiver that does long range and then 2.4? Surely if you're using one, it's either one or the other and not both, but there you go. So the firmware is up here, I think. Download, let's see. Go to the downloads page. So that's the manual at least, so I can download that. So this is the Ethos firmware. Is it actually going to work? Yes, that's a zip file there. And the SD card contents, only 15 meg, so that's not too bad. So let's see. So Frsky are telling me that I need to flash the bootloader because there's been a problem with the one that I have got. And this is the flashing tool. Is that just diffuse demo? Yes, it is. Well, I've already got that. And they've given me this pre-release thing. Oh man. Okay. And then a YouTube video, oops, unlisted, on how to flash it. Right, I'm going to have to go and do all of this. Hopefully you're not going to have to do any of this. Well, I've watched their video and it doesn't say anywhere about using diffuse. So what it says is I've got to plug a USB-C in here, and I have to say, this little flat thing, it is so awkward to get out. There we go, that's done it. So plug USB-C in like that, and then this is a normal Frsky thing. Hold the trims in and then turn it on like that. I think you might have to do that before plugging that in, even though the video showed it otherwise. So bootloader there, that's it. Now plug into the computer. And I've got to replace this bitmaps folder. Okay, so where it says bitmaps, I need to go into, I think it's this one, and then flash, and then bitmaps. Copy this, go into here. I hope you guys don't have to do this, you know. You spent all this money on a radio and you have to mess around here. I'm just going to replace everything there. Now because it's doing it to the internal drive on the radio, it's going very slowly, but let's wait for that to happen. So after that, I need to go into SD card contents, I think. SD, so that's there, and then just copy those and paste that into here. And now apparently if I go back, that was definitely SD card, wasn't it? So go into here now and go into EU. I think there should be the firmware. So I need to copy that into here, I believe. These folders don't look right, but I suppose this isn't OpenTX. Meant to be very similar to OpenTX though. I mean, you know, this is what is inside these folders here. It doesn't mention about the bootloader. In fact, aren't these two files here, aren't they usually put in here? But this is what the video says to do. It doesn't talk about the bootloader. So now what it says to do is to unplug that, and then it says writing firmware on the flash. It just says bootloader now. So what happens if I turn it off? Can I turn it off? Is it going to load up? Well, something's happening. Oh, there we go. So I guess that's it. Really hope you guys don't have to do that. English, can I press on there? Yeah. Radio data load, storage error, default system settings, restored, starting calibration.
The sticks are not calibrated.
Oh, okay. So I need to calibrate the sticks. Now, do I calibrate, center the sticks and center the pots and pans? Next. I've done that. Next. Move the sticks and pots to the full range. Okay, I see it. Oh, including that slider. Next. Confirm. Error opening file, start in the model wizard. I guess that's because there's no models in it yet. Okay. There we go, model wizard. Okay, so here we are in the main screen. Actually quite similar to OpenTX. So we've got our plane here, which I think you can change. So you can configure the screen or edit the picture or anything like that. We've got our timers down here, and I'm guessing these are our sliders, so that's the two sliders there, and then the slider which is further down there, but no sliders on the side. The touch screen, it's quite responsive. I've still got this cover over the top, so it's probably not helping. And we've got these icons here, so this is different, but I think the pages are very similar. So we've got this sort of tabbing system here. So if I press aircraft, you can see type of aircraft, and that's how we change the settings. So that's straightforward. You know, we've got mixer, no mixers yet. This is literally how it is out the box, and the outputs. Does that actually do anything? I have to set that up. What everybody's interested in really though is this one, isn't it? RF system. We've got internal module here, so let's see what the internal module supports. Currently off at the moment. Type, we have got access D16 and the tandem mode. So have we got any other options there? Yeah, we've got the internal antenna, 2.4 gig off or on, and then you can select the 900M there. Channel range and all sorts of stuff there. External module. This is really what we want to see, isn't it? What is supported? XJT Lite. So if you want to do your D8 and you want to do LR12, you can do that in there, but you're going to need the external module for that so we can't do the LR12 out of the box, which is what me and my friend Phil have been using on our plane. So I do have an external module, but that's disappointing. And look at the others. We've got R9M Lite, R9M Lite Access, R9M Lite Pro Access, PPM. So, I mean, unless you want to run Crossfire in PPM mode, it's not supported. That doesn't surprise me, but it's also a massive, massive mistake. And because this isn't OpenTX, it's not like you can just go, hey, OpenTX, we kind of want that. You know, they have taken all of the good from OpenTX, made it their own, closed it off, and that's it really. So, you know, comment in the below what you think about that. Give Frsky a piece of your mind, because I feel like they should be listening to the customers. Maybe us quadcopter FPV guys aren't the customers, but you would think, having an HD digital system coming out, that we very much would be one of those people. And that sort of begs the question as well, like, why would you buy the S version or the standard version that this one is if the HD one's coming out? It's probably going to be price, you know, if you like the features of this one. We've got the built-in Bluetooth trainer, which I can use for head tracking. It's actually got a gyro built into it. I'm not sure why you would want to use that, but you can tilt it and use that as a channel output. I mean, it's a very nice quality package, but is it doing something a lot different? Not really. Is it restrictive when it comes to, you know, the software? I would say yes, unless they add multi-protocol options, because that's what we want, you know. Frsky just want you to use their receivers, but in the RC hobby, we like to use all sorts of receivers, and sometimes if Frsky's receivers are sold out, isn't it better to, you know, be able to fly a model and still use your Frsky transmitter? I absolutely think so. But, you know, if I was looking at this maybe 20 years ago and saying, yeah, we've got a colour screen, very nice quality, and then you'd say, well, for a sort of JR Futaba setup with something like this, you'd be paying like $1,000. So is it value for money in that sense? Yes. But, you know, is it going to swap out our Radio Masters and our TBS Tangos, which have got all of the open source stuff on there? I'm not so sure. Comments in the below. Let Frsky know what is on your mind and what they should be doing with this transmitter. I'm going to need to convert this to mode 1. I think the back has got to come off for that. I know that we have got some strips here so that I can change, you know, some of the settings, but I think, you know, to swap the clamp over it, it's going to need the back coming off. But there you go, that is my initial look and thoughts, and sort of, you know, getting rid of all the nonsense information out there when, you know, talking about this X20 transmitter. I'll put a link in the video description if it takes your fancy. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.